Сцена 1. Почему честь не отдаешь? The wind come down from the mountains, sharp and restless, sweeping through the valley like an old ghost. It carried with it the smell of wet pine, cold iron, and smoke, the scent of a Russian winter that never quite left, even in March. The checkpoint stood lonely in the mist, a squat concrete box at the edge of nowhere. Beyond it stretched the forest, dark, endless, silent. Somewhere out there, the border wound its invisible line between Russia and the world beyond, guarded only by men like Private Karpov. He was 21, fresh from his training unit outside Yaroslavl, and this was his first real post. A posting that everyone had warned him about. Северный кордон, they called it. The northern line, the place where the maps got blurry and the radio signals sometimes just vanished. But orders were orders, and Karpov had never questioned orders. He adjusted his ushanka and stamped his boots, trying to bring some feeling back into his toes. The night had fallen heavy and wet, rain dripped from the tin roof in a slow, steady rhythm that gnawed at the nerves. His partner for the shift, Sergeant Believ, had gone inside 10 minutes ago to hit some tea, leaving Karpov to man the post alone. The radio crackled every so often, static, voices from command, coded words that meant nothing to a new recruit. He tried to focus on the sound. Anything was better than the oppressive quiet of the forest. Then he heard it, a sound that didn't belong to the rain. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, crunching on gravel. He straightened it instantly, eyes narrowing into the fog. Стой! Кто идет? He shouted, voice shaking slightly. The footsteps didn't stop. A figure emerged from the mist, tall, broad-shouldered, the silhouette of a long coat swaying with each step. The man moved like someone who wasn't afraid of being seen. Karpov tightened his grip on the rifle. I said, stop, identify yourself. Still no answer. The figure came closer until the dim light from the checkpoint lamp began to reveal details. Dark coat, leather gloves, boots that looked too polished for this place. The man's head was bare, hair silver under the yellow glow. His face, calm, but unreadable. He stopped just inside the circle of light. The rain traced lines down his cheeks, like tears that weren't his. Then he spoke. Почему честь не отдаешь? The words were soft, but they struck like a command. Karpov froze, his mouth dry. The tone, not loud, not angry, but absolute. The kind of voice you obeyed before you even talked. Я не понял, товарищ, кто вы? The man looked at him, expression unchanged. There was something in his eyes, old authority, the kind that didn't need uniform or stars. The kind that made even generals stand straighter. Karpov swallowed. He felt like a child again, caught doing something wrong. His hands twitched toward his cap, almost saluting out of instinct, but confusion held him back. The man's coat was buttoned to the throat, but on the collar, barely visible, was an old, faded emblem. Two wings crossed by a sword. Karpov's heart skipped. He had seen that symbol before. In history lessons. In the dusty archives of the base museum. The Directorate of Military Intelligence, the old GRU, before the reforms, before the war. The unit had been dissolved years ago. Officially, at least. But the emblem on that collar was real. Извините, товарищ офицер. Karpov stammered. Ваши документы, пожалуйста. The man didn't move. He took a step closer instead, boots sealing on the wet ground. When he spoke again, his voice dropped lower, almost kind. Ты молодой, he said quietly. Недавно прибыл. Да, товарищ. Неделю назад. И уже стоишь один, без напарника. Холод, туман, плохая смена. Karpov nodded uncertainly. Так точно. The man's gas drifted past him, toward the forest. Ты знаешь, почему этот пост стоит именно здесь? Karpov frowned. Для контроля, границы, товарищ. Сектор 7 байтов. A faint smile touched the stranger's lips. It wasn't warm. Контролировать. He chuckled softly. Смешно. Эту границу никто не контролирует. Даже вы. A gust of wind hit the checkpoint, rattling the loose metal sign. Karpov shivered. He wanted to call for Sergeant Believ, but his voice felt trapped in his throat. Товарищ, he managed, если вы из командования, мне нужно зарегистрировать ваш проход. Есть журнал. Не надо, interrupted the man. His made Карпов stop mid-sentence. Я здесь не по приказу. Silence stretched between them. The only sound was the rain. Finally, the man reached into his coat pocket, slowly, deliberately, and drew out something small and metallic. For a moment Karpov thought it was a weapon, but then the light caught it, an old badge, scratched and dull visage. The same emblem, wings and sword. Below it, the number, 042. Karpov stared. He didn't know what it meant, but he felt that he should. The stranger looked down at the badge, then closed his hand around it again. Твой командир, подполковник Серов. Yes, Karpov said automatically. Yes, inside, I think. The man's eyes hardened slightly. Нет, его нет. Уже 3 часа как. Карпов блинкет. Как это, нет? Он был на дежурстве. Был, said the man softly. Теперь, нет. The words hung heavy in the cold air. Before Karpov called answer, the checkpoint radio crackled sharply. Static, 10 burst of garbled sound. He turned toward it instinctively, relief flooding him at the thought of another voice. But the voice that came through wasn't believous. It was deep, distorted, almost mechanical. Больше чем, пост Север 7, кодовая отметка, 42, подтвердить, подтвердить. Then silence again. Karpov looked back, and the stranger was gone. Not a sound, not a footprint, in the wet gravel. Just the mist swirling where he had stood. He stepped forward, heart pounding, scanning the shadows. Товарищ, вы куда? Nothing. Only the dripping rain. He swallowed hard, turned, and went inside the post cabin. The lights flickered as he entered. Sergeant Belief was still at the table, head slumped over his cup of tea, steam long gone cold. Сержант. Карпов grabbed his shoulder. Проснитесь. No response. Then he said, the blood, dark and drying beneath the man's collar. His breath caught. The mug fell from his hand and shattered on the floor. He stumbled back toward the door, mind spinning. The emblem, the number, the voice on the radio. And then, faintly, through the static still whispering from the radio speaker, he heard it again, that same calm, commanding voice.